Hello and welcome to this IndexGain tutorial video. We're going to go through a quick process on how to find players to purchase for a 30-day window for IPDs, and we're going to use the player fixture analysis report here as part of the suite of advanced reports for premium members of IndexGain. You can find this report in the BuzzPro section here, and we've got fixture analysis. It's this report here called player fixture analysis, and when you load up the report you will see something that looks like this, and the columns that you want to focus on are fixtures, which is basically the count of fixtures, and the average difficulty rating. And the average difficulty rating is a score between -1, which is the toughest, to 1, which is the easiest, which is represented by greens and reds. So the darker the green, the easier the fixture, the darker the red, the more difficult the fixture. And it's computed by various different criteria, such as home and away advantage, disadvantage, recent form, as well as league position in relation to the team that you're looking at. So all of these are slightly dynamic, and they change week to week as positions change and form is updated. You want to keep an eye on the average difficulty ratings depending on when you're looking at fixtures. So if part of fixture analysis, really important for IPDs. You want to buy the players that are coming up to a really good run of games, either from a difficulty point of view or even just a count of games. And then even from a count of games, you want to see whether they're bronze, silver or gold. If they've got a couple of bronze games, then easier chance of winning dividends, even though the smaller they are. So when you get up to this report, the first thing you want to do is choose your date range. So I've already set it here for 30 days from the date of recording, which is the 7th of October. So I'm looking at now, once I've selected my date range, data for the 30 days. I can now sort this fixtures column, and it will put it from most number of games down to the lowest number of games. So I can see here, just scrolling through the list, PSG have the most number of games, followed by a bunch of La Liga teams who have 5, and then got some League One teams, Lyon, Montpellier, Marseille as well. And you want to also be scanning the difficulty ratings here, and you can see there are some quite red ones, and you can see some that are quite green. So 0.35 is a decent figure here. So 0.35, and that would be Marseille. So Marseille have some decent games. You've got 0.33 here, which is Villarreal. And when you hover over the player, you can see their recent price moves. You see a 7-day price chart, as well as a season price chart. So it's a quick way of just understanding recent price trends. So if you're looking at Marseille and Villarreal, you can also just sort by average difficulty. And you can see Milan have the easiest games, however they've only got 3 games. So you can also just scroll down until you get to a team that has 6, 5 games, and then you can just start researching from there. You've also got all the PB data here, so you can quickly see which particular players have a high PB average rating, as well as some match stats and IPD analysis metrics here. You've got filters that you can choose if there's a particular league that you just want to view. So it's a really good place to have a look and start slicing and dicing data to understand who's got the most games over 30 days and who's got the easiest games over 30 days. Don't forget, you can also change the metrics for any performance by just looking at metrics that are for players who have started or played more than 60 minutes. And also you can choose to view data for just the last 60 days, for example. So by shortening these metrics, so the PB average over 60 days might give you more of an inclination on recent form for that particular player. If the PB average has been low for a particular player, it might indicate that this player is either injured or hasn't been playing as regularly as he used to. So it's the most recent data that you can look at. So that's one way of using the filters there. Now, the 2 teams that we've just picked, Villarreal and Marseille, I'm going to show you how to now use Slack to research those two teams, because you can use Slack and use BuzzBot if you're a premium member to look into average match day rankings and price moves and drill into particular players. So let's have a look at IG team, which is the command to bring up match day averages for a particular team, and we're going to do Villarreal. And BuzzBot pulls up a report there, like you just seen very, very quickly, and you can see Parejo, even though these stats are from when he was at Valencia. So you may want to just side a bit of caution with this, but he will predominantly be the main man for Villarreal on set pieces and maybe even penalties. Cazorla, who's now left but still assigned as a Villarreal player. You've got Gerard Moreno, Torres, Albiol, Alberto Moreno. So you get a good idea of who the players from Villarreal are who score quite well. You can also see here dividend stats, bearing in mind Parejo won these dividends at Valencia, but then you've also got Moreno as well. And then you notice that not many other players appear in dividends, so Moreno might be the key man. So let's just have a look at how prices have fared for Villarreal. So you'll use the IG moves command, type in VIL, which is a short code for Villarreal, and let's do 3 days. And here we go. So we now have a 3-day price moves report, and you can see here over 3 days Gerard Moreno has actually dropped a couple of pence, so it might be worth looking at Moreno to see if there's a wide spread on him and putting in a bid in ready for when the season kicks off. Kubo, Pedraza, so not much movement, but let's RG moves Vil 14 days. There we go. And you can see over 14 days, Moreno has actually risen 31p. So you can see from the 2p that he's just dropped in the last 2 or 3 days, is probably some traders taking profit. Because a 31p rise over 14 days is quite a substantial rise. So one person that's on my watch list is Alsacer. So what I'm going to do now is have a look at his player report. So what you can do is type in IG player info and Alsacer, hit enter, and BuzzBot produces this player info report, and from here you can see some top 5 scores, and as you can see, okay, he's not scored over 200 last season. His highest score in the last 5 is 155. His PB average is okay, it's not too bad. But if we have a look here from an IPD perspective, 12 goals, just under a goal every other game. So you may want to, present a word of caution on someone like Alsacer. The metrics here don't seem as strong as they could be, but if you're looking at just from a fixtures point of view, Huesca and Ibar, both games at home, green indicating very easy. So, he may be a good IPD punt. The other name that was on the list was Moreno. So let's have a look at Gerard Moreno. And here we go. Gerard Moreno and his report, and as you can see here, some really good scores, some strong scores, nearly a 300, 198 in his last game, 21 goals, he's averaging a goal every other game, he's having 3 shots per game, is superb for forward. He might also be on penalties, and he's got the advantage of the fixtures, and he's won PB dividends previously. So again, this might be a better purchase, but he comes at a slightly higher price. It's not too much difference. Also from here, you can add the player to your port or my port or my list, and you'll get price alerts on Moreno should he rise or fall substantially over a short period of time. So that's how you can use the fixtures and then start using Slack to start researching teams, price moves, and specific players using BuzzBot commands IG team, IG moves plus the team code, and the IG player info command. Thanks for watching.